So today I'm going to talk about what I've learned buying luxury. If I've learned anything, keep watching. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My channel is about treating yourself to a little bit of luxury, whether that be your cup of coffee, favorite fragrances, skincare, beauty items, or handbags, accessories, all that stuff, because you deserve it. And in that process, you learn a little bit. Sometimes you don't, but you do. You try. You do your best. And let's be honest, I'm no spring chicken. I'm near 50. So I've been around the block a little bit. I definitely feel I've taken note, tried, but we all make mistakes because we're human, and sometimes we fall victim to whatever. It is what it is. So, here's my biggest takeaway from this tag and what everyone's talking about. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to forgive yourself for those mistakes, whatever they may be. And sometimes you need to make those mistakes to have it sink in and, give you that, lessons, that life lesson. So I guess take this with a grain of salt. These are my experiences. I'm not trying to tell you that this is going to work for everybody, or that it makes sense for everybody, or what you're doing is wrong, because that's just not right, quite frankly. It's just my opinion, and we're going to talk about a few things. We'll see. Let's talk about it down below in the comments as well. If you've experienced the same, if you think I'm full of crap, that's okay too. Again, this is my experience, my opinion, and my take on navigating luxury. So my first topic, I guess, or first focus is going to be that, luxury doesn't necessarily equate to the cost of the item. It's subjective. So just because an item is $100,000, $10,000, $5,000, what have you, doesn't necessarily mean that that is luxury per se, or that it's quality per se. So there've been some comments or debates, commentary, what have you, on what brands are considered luxury or are luxury, and the opinions behind them. And we all have whatever we consider our own tiers of luxury, and what our standard of luxury is, and that could be at any level, anything. Again, that is subjective and personal. But just because an item is X amount doesn't equal that it's a value and worth the price. And sometimes what you're looking for really is the craftsmanship, the material being used, and the history of the design, possibly. For me, I tend to shop pre-loved, so I'm not necessarily spending the ginormous price tags that modern day luxury commands, but I appreciate and value what it offers. And I can't say that I don't, look at the brand new items. It's just that I take it with a grain of salt. I will think about, like, does spending X amount on this item today make sense? Because if that item is still being sold today for, let's just say, $5,000, but you can buy the same item slightly used or what have you on the pre-loved market for a fifth of its cost, does that make the used item less quality, less luxurious? I personally don't think so. So it's one of those interesting conundrums that just to try to drop in that coin doesn't necessarily equate to luxurious. There are experiences that are less tangible per se, but still are quite expensive and luxurious in the experience that is hard to come across at another level. So trying to find the equivalent experience at X price point versus X price point sometimes can be a challenge. So that's really kind of where it comes down to. Is it the tangible good that you're getting, and is that luxurious, or is it, you know, the experience that you're getting? Along the same lines of quality and equaling price, what I strongly believe is that you can't go into this type of habit thinking that bags are an investment. It's thinking that just because you bought a Louis Vuitton item that you're going to be able to turn around and sell it the next day or 2 months later for a profit, or even what you paid for it. That's very naive. And that is something I did learn the hard way. I kind of purchased a few things without much thought behind it, and thought or justified it with, oh, well, you know, I'll try it, see if I like it, and I'll just sell it, you know, down the road if it doesn't work out. And what I found was it's difficult to resell items unless they're trendy, brand new, what have you, or it items. So unless you're, you know, buying an Hermes Birkin, you know, the odds are you're not going to be able to flip that bag for your costs. So these are not things that you can guarantee will turn around and become an income. I'm not saying you won't be able to recoup some of your costs, but you cannot just think that, oh, I have purchased Fendi Peekaboo for X, I will be able to sell Fendi Peekaboo for, you know, the exact same amount or more if I lose my job or what have you. So it's a sunk cost that you may or may not retrieve in the end. And thinking about that, having that mindset from the get-go as it's like a consumable good. So like, you know, like my fragrances or my makeup that I buy, I'm not going to be able to resell that. So think about whatever you purchase as a consumable. If you are able to sell it, that's great, wonderful, it's a bonus. You know, it's just like, woohoo, I scored. But having the mindset that it is a treat, it is something you splurge on, it is something that if you get something for it, then it's a bonus. But it is truly a consumable item that you're going to utilize and take something from. So if you're not buying these items to truly enjoy them and experience the luxuriousness of them, there's kind of no point. It's just not the purpose behind it. Now, if you're a business and this is your business, you know, throw this out the window. That is a business, but you're going to be strategic in what you purchase and how you're going to resell it. That's a completely different topic. But as a general layperson, you just can't think that you're going to do one thing and turn it around and make a profit or sell it. So for my next item, it really has to do with the it bags, or the fact that, you know, there's influencers out there, you know, parading around, showing you a certain type of lifestyle, and for lack of a better term, advertising and making you want to live that type of lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to live vicariously or enjoy consuming that content, you know, that's totally fine. And there's a lot of YouTube that is devoted to that type of environment. for me personally, what I learned was that that particular type of content was harmful to me because it was making me want to spend unwisely. I am not rich. I am not even close. I am, a average income. I'm a public servant, so to speak, with my employer. So I make good money. I won't say that. So I make good money. I have a decent house. I don't have children. I have disposable income. I can afford the things that I want to buy, but I don't need to consume these items at the level that that type of content was driving me towards. And the area that I live really doesn't, lend itself to needing any of those items. So, the most current it bag of the season doesn't really make sense. I'm not going to the club. I'm not 20. I'm not in a fashionable city where it makes sense to be out and seen, wherever it would be literally purchased for my joy and my joy alone. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's truly what it is. But it was this constant like, oh, this release is coming out, and oh my God, I have to have it. Oh my God. That was really unhealthy there for a while, where it's just like, you know what? No, I don't need that. I don't really care. It's pretty, sure, great, wonderful. I'm glad you have it. But I didn't need it. And the unboxings were great to watch vicariously, but it's like, I started on YouTube initially researching and looking for information about the things that I wanted to purchase, and I've deviated from that for quite some time. So what I truly learned was, while it can be entertaining to watch that content, it's not worth it. And it's not worth it to make yourself feel bad if you can't measure up, I guess, or live like those folks. And it just doesn't make any sense to try to do it. Same thing with jumping on the bandwagon of, even when they're not extravagant and like hugely expensive. If everyone's unboxing a certain brand, and I won't name the brand, but there was this one brand that was big about a year ago, and it's like everybody had an unboxing from this particular brand, and it was like, oh, I've got a mystery box, whatever. They were great deals. I won't say they weren't, but at the same time, it was just like, I didn't need any of that. Nothing in there seemed like I needed it, but it was kind of presented that, oh, you got to jump on this. And you don't. That's the moral of the story. You don't. You do not. Do what makes you happy. If it will make you happy, buy the damn bag. Don't let anybody stop you. If it's truly what you want, buy it. Enjoy it. Love the hell out of it. I'm not telling you to not do that, as long as you're doing it relatively wisely. And I'll get on to finances in the next one. If that's truly what makes your heart happy, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and get the item, because if that's going to bring you so much joy, get the item. Don't hurt yourself to get the item, but get the item. Don't let anybody stop you. But at the same time, I hope that you are mindful and think about whatever you want to purchase and why you want to purchase it. So the last one is really finances and the trouble you can get into with, again, this overconsumption and wanting to get every it bag or buy everything that everybody else is buying. It can be very much a slippery slope. And I did that when I initially kind of found the rabbit hole of luxury YouTube, where it was like, oh my God, we have pre-loved luxury? What the hell? I knew about eBay, but these other sites, and Affirm and credit cards and all the things that you could do, I wasn't thinking well. I wasn't planning well. I just love the thrill of the hunt and the fix of buying things and not really thinking it through properly. And it really took that point where I was going to resell something. And again, it goes back to bags are not investment. And I couldn't sell the item, that nobody wanted it. It was junk to them. And I was just like, oh, okay, I need to be more thoughtful because I bought it. Because it was a great deal. I thought it was cute at the time. I was like, oh, I'll carry it for a little while, then I'll just move it on. Thinking that I didn't care about getting all my money back. I just thought I wanted to get some money back, and I couldn't even sell it at all. And I'm like, oh wow, this thing is not even desirable to anybody. I took a step back and just thought, I don't want to just donate it away and start filling the world with all these items that I'm not using, because I had done that in the past with just like my Coach items and contemporary brands, and I had given away a whole bunch of stuff and did consignment sales and a whole bunch of other types of ways to get rid of items, which I thought was mindful or thoughtful, but it really wasn't. It was just basically a tax deduction in the grander scheme of things. And I just started being a little frustrated with myself that I wasn't being cautious with my finances, wasn't being cautious with, you know, how much waste I was producing. So with the money aspect being that I'm not, you know, a billionaire or even a millionaire or anything, I will buy the item if I know it will truly make me happy. And I'm not going to tell you not to use a firm or a credit card. If it truly makes you happy and it is feasible for you to make that purchase work without getting into huge amounts of debt, there's nothing wrong with splurging. I use a firm. I don't care. I do the 0% interest, paid off in like 3 months thing. I force myself to do like the highest payment. So it's like, I do that so that it's not a huge hit immediately, but it just feels a little better to just, you know, only give them so much of my money at the end. So like if I have to return it, I only have to worry about like a $200 credit or what have you. That's kind of the only reason I will use it, is when I'm kind of like, I'm not sure, I might want to return that if it's not quite how it is. And I'd rather, you know, have just a little bit of money tied up than $2,000 all at once or $1,000 all at once or what have you. So sometimes that makes sense to me. Again, 0 interest, I'm paying it all off. It's not going to incur me anything financially straining in my world. But there are other folks who may not have that type of restraint, and maybe you know, it's so easy to hit that, oh, buy now, 4 payments, and they add up and you've got 7 of them before you know it, and you can't pay your rent or what have you. You know, I don't think that way. It's like my mortgage is paid first, my bills are paid first, everything is paid first. This is like, you know, the extra however much money a month that I would either put in savings or that I have on hand in case something happens to the dogs or what have you. So it's like that money that can easily be like out to dinner or on a handbag or whatever it is. So that money that will not be missed if it goes to this and it makes me happy. So if it makes you happy and you need to buy the bag and you want to use one of those platforms, again, do it safely, do it wisely, make yourself happy, because in the end, that's what it's about, making yourself happy. And the reason why I'm saying make yourself happy over and over again, and I'm gonna get dark real fast, real quick. I'm so sorry. I recently lost somebody in our family, relatively sudden, and from an illness. And unfortunately, you know, you come to an age, a point in your life where you start to realize you can't take it with you. You can only enjoy all of this while we're here in the now, in the present. And while, you know, you could leave some for your family or what have you, you need to live your life and you need to enjoy your life and do it to the fullest, because you never know how much time you have to do so. They had planned a trip and they were unfortunately gone before they could even make it to that milestone component of their trip. So I think that's what drives me the most to be okay with splurging, even though I'm not a millionaire or billionaire or in any way, you know, what folks would normally think deserve to live luxuriously or have luxurious items. And you shouldn't be afraid to occasionally treat yourself to these items as well, but do it, you know, with thought, with meaning, and to make it truly something that you're going to enjoy and make yourself happy with. So that's all that matters. There's my rambling and whining. So those are my lessons. I probably have other ones. If I think of any more, I'll put them down below in the comments. Liked having you around. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.